Hey dude, let's talk about the most disturbing episode of Batman, probably ever. It originally aired on May 23, 1998, under the New Batman Adventures series, which is pretty much a continuation of Batman, the animated series that we all know and love. It was Season 1, Episode 11 of the New Batman Adventures, but if you're watching on Max, like I am again, it's a very logical Season 3, Episode 11. I don't know. Don't ask me. I didn't put it on there in any particular order, but that's how we're watching it. It's called Over the Edge, and this episode is filled front to back with just twist after twist after twist, and some of them are just amazing, and some of them piss me off. So let's get down to it, man. This episode's actually really good. We start off with that iconic intro, right, dude? Don't we? Isn't that thing sick? All right, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll make a video just dedicated to the intro theme itself, but for now, let's just cruise through the episode. We open with Batman and Robin running down the stairs to the Batcave. There's bullets flying at them, and we see what I guess are just dirty stormtroopers? I have a stutter problem, and it happens every now and then when I get excited, sorry. But we see these gray stormtroopers just running after Batman and Robin, shooting them, blasting them. One of them throws a grenade in front of them, and it actually detonates this giant explosion. And then as they're making their escape to the Batmobile, one of them fires a freaking bazooka towards it and just blows it up, man. Now, what do they do now, right? Stakes are immediately high. I love a good episode that starts off with action. That's the best way to get somebody with pretty bad ADHD, focused. Let's just put it that way. Batman eventually makes it to that iconic giant penny that he keeps in his Batcave, rolls it towards the, what are the cops, really? You've got James Gordon and Detective Bullock chasing Batman, giving, these stormtroopers these orders to shoot at Batman and Robin for some reason. Anyways, Batman shoves that giant penny towards the bad... I want to call them bad guys because they're shooting at Batman, but they're good guys. Weird, right? Anyways, rolls the giant penny towards them. They back off. Is the escape on? Let's find out. Batman and Robin continue to round this corner, further descending down into the cave, and then they come face to face with a woman with a gun who tells them to stand down. They have nowhere to turn, but they turn to their right, and then they jump off the side of the stairwell. And then Robin is very confident in their safety in this moment.
We are gonna die.
We then get a close-up of Commissioner Gordon aiming his firearm straight towards Batman and Robin. He's got him in his sights, and he says there's no vanishing act this time. He pulls the trigger, but just as he does that, Alfred, the butler, right? Alfred jumps on him, derails the shot, and he misses them. Thank goodness for Alfred. Saves the day again. Oh, and I almost forgot. Harvey Bullock calls Alfred Pennyworth Jeeves.
Knock it off, Jeeves. I'm warning you.
Which, obviously, I didn't get when I watched this the first time, but rewatching it now, so good. Batman and Robin eventually make it to the water boat that's shaped like a bat, and they make their escape out of the Batcave then. Robin looks sad. They're quickly met by water police, and what I can only assume is the weirdest beard to have ever been drawn by anyone on this good planet of ours. Look at this thing.
Again.
My God, do you think he trims it like that every single day just to keep it tight, like most guys do? I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it. I'm definitely overthinking it. It's a cartoon. The water police are also firing at Batman and Robin. Just a friendly reminder at this point, nobody knows why these cops are chasing Batman or Robin right now, or why they're firing at them. We don't know what's going on. It's just constant action and gunshots. And of course, the music is so good. Let's talk about the music real quick. More specifically, the composer, Shirley Walker. She's the one who wrote the original Batman the Animated Series intro that we all know and love. I'm humming it right now in my head, and she did the music for this episode as well, which is why it's so good. Back to the action at hand. We've got Batman and Robin in the Batboat, barely scooting away from the water police, and then we get this glorious, shiny mullet that comes just out of frame. It's Nightwing on his little Nightwing scooter that's waterproof, I guess, too. Robin sees this. Now, Robin is happy. The water cops shoot at Nightwing as well. They miss. He shoots back. He takes out their little water boat. Stoked. It's a narrow escape. Eventually, they sail off into the water. We fade to the next scene where it's Batman, Robin, and Nightwing all sitting together, and Nightwing says,
I never thought it would end this way. For us or for Barbara. I still don't know everything that happened.
"Why are you being shot at? Why did you have to save Batman and Robin? How is what gonna end what way? I'm on the edge of my seat, man." We can now chill just for a second. The three of them sit in a semicircle, and we get some exposition from Batman. We learn that Batman, Robin, and Batgirl were once fighting Scarecrow and his goons. Scarecrow runs off, Batgirl runs after him, and of course it's Gotham, so this is all happening on the top of like the tallest tower in the city. Batgirl jumps on Scarecrow, finds out it's not actually him. It was a trap the whole time. It was one of those, not clothes racks, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. Also, it doesn't matter what it was. Anyways, she lands on her face. The real Scarecrow comes out with this wooden stick thing and just thwacks her. He hits Batgirl so hard with that stick, she falls off the building and plummets all the way down. All the way down. We get to see Barbara land on a cop car that's just happens to be driving past, and who's inside that cop car is Commissioner Gordon. For those of you that don't know, Commissioner Gordon is Batgirl's dad. Imagine this. Now, a little behind the scenes, the way they originally animated this particular scene was more of a head-on approach, but my God, that was just deemed to be too traumatic, I suppose. So they did like this weird, not weird, but they did this alternative side angle that was just less dramatic and less gruesome, if you know what I mean. Also, just a little more context. Commissioner Gordon doesn't know that Batgirl is his daughter. This has been a secret and has been for many years, but in this moment, Batgirl looks up at Commissioner Gordon as he's holding her in his arms, and she says,
Dad,
And it's in this moment that Commissioner Gordon realizes the secret. It's also in this moment where she passes in his arms. I told you, man, it's traumatic and pretty disturbing, dude. But it keeps getting worse. I was gonna say better, but it's not better. It keeps getting worse. Let's do some more. Commissioner Gordon and Batman are now face to face at the scene. Gordon's pissed. And also sad. Duh.
How could you? I worked with you, trusted you, and you never told me? She was my daughter. My daughter.
Harvey Bullock enters the scene with a gun drawn on Batman, and he says, "This is the end of the line, bucko. Count your days. You got maybe one left. All right, take your belt off, take your mask off." I don't know. He didn't say most of that. I was just making all out of that up, but the vibe was there. And then all of a sudden, Robin comes down on his, hangy thing, and he says, "Let's go, Batman. I found our way out." And then they shoot up the building, and then at the last second, Batman drops a classic smoke bomb on the remaining cops that are still on the scene. And normally when he does that, he disappears when the smoke clears, but that didn't work out this time. The smoke cleared, and you can still kind of see them going up into the sky, and it was goofy. Bullock immediately starts giving orders to the remaining officers around him to go catch Batman and Robin. Gordon says, nah, we're not gonna do it this way. I've got another idea.
So what do we do? What I should have done years ago.
We then cut to later on that evening. Bruce Wayne, Robin, Alfred are all sitting in Wayne Manor just in the dark with the lights off, thinking. We don't know about what yet. Phone rings. It's Commissioner Gordon. Wayne answers the phone. He says, "Hey, Commissioner, what can I do for you?" Commissioner Gordon goes, drop the act, bucko. And then he says, 10 minutes on Barbara's computer told me everything I need to know. Which, for one, if you work for Batman and you've got stuff on your computer, dude, it shouldn't take, your dad 10 minutes to find out all the secrets. You know what I mean? Get a VPN. By the way, this video was sponsored by... No, I'm just kidding. This video is not sponsored by a VPN. But all I'm saying is, listen, dude, you should be encrypting some stuff a little bit tighter if you work for Batman, Anyway, we get some very happy, lucky, fun time back and forth between Gordon and Wayne, and the phone call ends like this.
The only way I could hold on to my sanity was to take matters into my own hands.
That makes us even.
Thanks to the absolute boomer sleuthing that Gordon was able to do in the 10 minutes on his daughter's computer, he knows, and the entire police department knows, who Batman is, who Robin is, who Nightwing is. They know who Barbara Gordon was. They know everything. They know where the Batcave is, and they're on their way right now. Alfred, Wayne, Robin. I forget Robin's name in this particular series. I'm sorry, forgive me. We're still friends, right? Like, we're still cool? All three of them run out of, like, the Wayne Manor living room, down, like, past the secret clock door where the Batcave is, and by then, all the, the gray stormtroopers, the police officers, there's gotta be like 20 or 30 of them. They blast through the front door of Wayne Manor, and now we're kind of caught up to where we were at the beginning of the episode, where they were being chased and shot at by these same officers. It's a bit of a Tarantino full circle moment there that we've just caught ourselves up to. We now cut back to Batman, Robin, and Nightwing, the three of them. Remember when they were sitting in that semicircle just exposition dumping? We're done with that now. We know what happened. Robin asks,
"Now what?"
Batman pretty much says, "Look, bub." Bub? What is he, Wolverine? "Look, dude, you're pretty much looking at it. We're just gonna sit here and, Batman basically admits that they might just head down to the Winchester and have a pint, wait for this whole thing to blow over. Nightwing says, "Well, don't worry, guys. If we're gonna be here for the next several days, I'm just gonna run over to my place, grab all the supplies that we may need, super quick, come right back, nobody will see me." In and out. He was not in and out. He got seen immediately. It is now Nightwing versus no less than 5 cops, and every single one of them is shooting at him. And it's incredibly unclear if they're hitting him and his suit is just bulletproof, or if they are just super bad shots, dude. I can't tell. Let's keep going. Let's not hang on that, okay? Hi, editing Tommy here. I got hung up on it. I don't know what to tell you. I did a little bit of research, and I saw that the current version of Nightwing's costume in, like, today's modern comic run, that is bulletproof, but I couldn't find anything specific about this suit from this series, so I asked Reddit. I didn't get an answer. I don't know, man. It's a mystery. For now, let's go back. But in between all the firearms blasting and him running away and stuff, he was able to body slam one cop into another cop and still come out, majorly unharmed. Cartoons. Nightwing is able to make it to the rooftop of whatever building, I guess is his apartment, where there's a helicopter waiting for him. They nab him. We also get to learn that not only is Dick Grayson, Nightwing, in jail in this moment, he didn't give up the whereabouts though, right? Snitches get stitches, and he is not going to get cut up for this. But we also find out that Alfred is in jail as well. It's unsure if they're in jail together in this moment, but maybe we'll find out. That news gets aired on the news station later that night, so now not only does the entire police force know the secret identities for all these heroes, but now so does the entire public. Everyone that lives in Gotham, and beyond, obviously, knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. In this next scene, we get to hear Batman say, "No, it's over, Tim." So, Tim Drake is the Robin in this episode. Robin is saying, "Hey, Batman, why don't we just go downtown? We'll spring Nightwing and Alfred. We'll get him back to safety." Batman goes, "No, dude, it's over. We're donezo." Batman tells Tim Drake, Robin, to just turn himself in, saying he won't get in trouble. Nobody will blame him. And it's the dialogue and it's the music that just makes this whole scene just make you feel so defeated. Like, you've watched Batman basically your whole life. Not basically, absolutely your whole life. Whether it's the Adam West stuff, or it's the Bruce Timm stuff like we're watching now, or even if it's, the movies that came later on. Like, we've been watching Batman for our whole lives. No exaggeration. Very rarely, if ever, have we seen Batman tell Robin just to turn himself in, because the whole thing is over with. There is no backup plan. There is no contingency like he's known for having, a plan B and a plan C and so on. That's all gone now. Batman's admitting defeat. He's gotten one of his partners killed, another one in jail, his family butler also in jail. He has very little to live for, very little to fight for. It's sad. Commissioner Gordon is being asked now to step down. It's unclear by who, maybe one of his peers or maybe even one of his superiors, simply because of the ties between his daughter and this illegal vigilante superhero club, right? Big bummer. Commissioner Gordon is officially no longer part of the police force, but he is sitting in front of a very large, shadowy figure, asking him to do him a favor. very large man tells him no. Oh, no wait, he says yes. We then cut to what seems to be some sort of, not quite funeral, but they are bringing out a casket from a building into the back of a hearse, and it's less mourning, and it's more just bat bait is really all it is, because Commissioner Gordon knows that Batman will be present somewhere to see Barbara Gordon be carried away to the next life. I guess that's how we're going to put it. But of course, Commissioner Gordon has multiple snipers on just about every tall building in the city, looking for Batman to show himself, and guess who shows himself? Batman. Yeah, you knew that.
Got him.
They see him,
Do it.
they start firing, Batman runs. You might think it's going to be another chase scene where the cops are just going to be firing blanks at everything they shoot at, but no. Bane pops out of the door for some reason. Yeah, Albino. It's now Batman versus Bane, 1v1. And almost every time we see this matchup, we know how it ends. Batman gets his ass kicked. Batman hits him with some pocket sand and then takes his cape off to collect some falling rocks that he then hits Bane upside the noggin with. Very cool. And you know what, man? Let me just say something real quick. I love a capeless Batman. Yeah, of course the cape is dope, and when you see him float into a building and he lands and the broken glass and stuff, that's cool. But in the middle of just a brawl with Bane especially, and you get a capeless Batman, you get to really just see, the silhouette changes. Obviously, he's a man, always has been a man. It just feels, a little bit less metaphorical and a little bit more raw, which I like for some reason. Same thing with Wolverine, when he's in his badass yellow striped costume, but he takes his mask off and it sits behind him kind of like a hood. Oh, I love that. Any collectible figure or statue that I find with a capeless Batman or an unmasked Wolverine, I'm buying it. Bane gets the upper hand again, and then Batman ends up on the ground with Bane on one side, Commissioner Gordon with a gun on the other side, and Commissioner Gordon tells Bane something pretty poetic. He's like, no, I want him alive so that I can put him away in Arkham with the rest of the monsters that he's created to suffer for the rest of his days. And Bane agrees.
Poetic, but no.
Gordon reminds Bane of the deal that they had, but I love this Bane, dude. Listen to this cold-ass one-liner.
We had a deal.
Thought about it. Didn't work for me.
I want more of this Bane. This is good. Gordon ends up hanging off of the edge of a building for probably the third or fourth time in this episode alone that's happened, to somebody at least. And just as Bane is about to stomp on, the mommy and the daddy and the brother fingers of Commissioner Gordon and then send him down the same way Barbara Gordon fell, I guess the night before, Batman ends up saving Gordon by dragging Bane to the other side of the rooftop, I guess, and then cutting his steroid umbilical cord, you know what I'm talking about? And then not only that, but then he attaches the loose cord to the electrical panel of the bat signal, no less, and then that just shocks the zaps out of his body, and he dies. Because how do you come back from that? Batman walks over to Gordon, who's still hanging on the edge of the building by one hand, reaches an arm down and says, for Barbara, let me save you. Now remember, Gordon's pissed at Batman. He's like, you know what? My daughter would still be here if it weren't for you directly. So he's still sad. He's still very mad. And oh my God, the grip strength on this dude, man. He's just hanging there by one arm. And he takes a moment, a couple of seconds to think. And then he goes, all right. And then he humps himself up and grabs Batman's arm so that he can be saved and not die. But, surprise, surprise, Bane in that moment did not die after all. So he wakes back up. I don't know, dude. And then he takes the bat signal, throws it at both Batman and Gordon as they're being lifted up on top of the building again, and it takes both of them out. Batman has no batarangs. He's got no grapple thingy. So now it's Gordon and Batman free-falling from, again, the top of one of the highest buildings in Gotham City down to their deaths. And then we hear a girl's voice say, "No! No!" We get this white flash that happens across our screen, and we see Barbara Gordon in a hospital bed, waking up. Was it all a dream?
It was all a dream!
It was. This was one of the twists that I mentioned in the beginning of the video that absolutely pissed me off, dude. Imagine all of these traumatic twists and these fatal turns, one right after the other, and just these unbelievable unrecoverable situations. How do we get out of them? Because it's a 20-something minute sitcom, not a sitcom, but it's a 20-something minute show that has to wrap up neatly. How do you do that? Well, I guess when multiple characters die and go to jail and their secret identities are not a secret anymore, you just have somebody wake up, I guess, which I hate that storytelling tactic, but we got it here. Barbara Gordon then gives us this, Dorothy waking up situation where she reveals she had a dream and you were in it and you were in it and you were in it, and we get one of those that happens really quickly. Thankfully, it wasn't like Barbara just waking up from a midday nap. She was waking up from being in unconscious or some sort of coma from actually fighting the Scarecrow from earlier in the episode. She was knocked out, and when she was out, this whole dream sequence happened. So there's that, but we do get a little bit of development, and something does come from this dream sequence. Barbara Gordon now feels it in her heart of hearts that she has to tell her dad that she is Batgirl. It's been a secret she's been keeping from him for years now, and she feels terrible about it, which is why Scarecrow was able to exploit that fear while she was asleep, because she was poisoned by his toxin before she went out. That's why she was afraid of... I may not have to explain it to you. I probably don't. You're smart. Now, that's why she now feels that she has to tell her dad who she is. She invites her dad over for dinner. Sometimes you just get talking too fast, and then you just don't know where you are all of a sudden. Or is that just me? She invites her dad over for dinner and says, hey, this isn't just for dinner. I have something I need to tell you as well. It's going to be hard to hear. And it's about a job that I took recently. Dad cuts her off and says, you know what? It doesn't matter. You're capable of making your own decisions. You're an adult. I love you. All of you, no matter what. And that's how the episode ends. She doesn't get to tell her dad that she is Batgirl. So in the end, does anything change? No, nobody learns anything in this episode. Barbara Gordon does learn, I guess, that she does really need to tell her dad the secret she's been holding, but she doesn't get to, basically because she just gets dadded into silence, right? And I can't help but wonder what her dad thought she was going to say, I really doubt he thought she was going to be like, hey, I'm Batgirl. I don't think that even came up in his mind. I just assume maybe he thought that she was I don't want to get too vulgar or anything, but a model, an online model, if you know what I mean, or just some kind of, journalist that just there's a dirty journalist. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out with me for as long as you have. Thank you for that. I'm grateful. Click subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have an even more disturbing episode of Batman that you remember, let me know in the comments. I'll look at it. I'll talk about it in another video probably, because I'm looking for content. I'm looking for content that you want me to make, so help me out. Gotta go. If I had any ounce of forethought, I would do a smoke bomb right now and just quietly put my mic down and disappear.